Listen up, for knowledge is spoken. Listen up, for knowledge has come. Today we want to talk about losing the fear of dying. Now, many of us cling on for dear life to that dead-end job. We cling on to the expectation of living up to what others want us to live up to. And we really don't honor what's deep inside of our hearts. Most of us have dreams, as Langston Hughes would say, that we defer. We have dreams that are unfulfilled. We have visions that wake us up, that burn at us, but we are too afraid to put our best foot forward and just live the life that we know we're supposed to live. Now, one of the ways that we can go about that is looking at the worst thing that can happen to us, for most of us, and that's death itself. And once we accept that and are comfortable with the fact that one day, we may not know when it comes, but we'll die, and we lose the fear of dying, then we can actually live. Because if we have overcome the greatest fear, then we can live fearlessly. And to live fearlessly means to live a life of joy, to live a life based on happiness, to live a life based on what things you want to be and accomplish, not being afraid of your reputation. Now, there's a difference between reputation and character. Sometimes it's quite the opposite. Reputation is living up to what others may think about you, their opinions. And that's tough because that's subject to change. You look at all these sports players and song stylists, yay, they're on top of the world. Then all of a sudden they're the worst person overnight because they supposedly have done something or disappointed some people. Then they feel bad because they're living up to an image rather than living up to what's inside their heart. What we want to deal with is living from within, but without fear. How do we do that? Now, one of the ways that we can do that is looking at regret. Just feel like you're at your bed or somebody's catering to you on your deathbed. And you're on your deathbed with all these regrets of things that you wish you had done, but didn't have the courage. A vision of that or a picture of that should be enough that you should want to live the life that you want to live and live up to your expectation. I read a book a few years ago written by an author named Bronnie Ware, who I think she was from New Zealand or Australia, one of those countries, but she was a palliative healthcare worker, meaning she took care of people in hospice and about to die. And she recorded 5 top regrets that she heard over and over and over again by people who were dying. And she wrote a book about it to help save us from having those same regrets. Now, what were those regrets? Number one, I wish I had the courage to live a life true to myself, not what others expected of me. True to yourself. Now, I always talk about meditation, and some of us think that's hocus pocus, mystic stuff. I don't have to sit. But you have to know yourself, and it takes some time. Last night, this is the New Year's Eve, I woke up from my bed, and I sat for about an hour and 30 minutes, hour and 45 minutes, just so that I can get focused on, damn, what is it that I really want to do? What is it that I really want to focus on? What is my real purpose for going in the new year? Is it to look great in front of people, or is it to fulfill the desires that I have, the calling that I have, the mission and vision that I have inside of me? That ultimately is really where your happiness is going to come from. So Am I living the life that I want to live? Am I being true? Am I being fake? Am I living up to what Aunt Esther or Aunt Polly or Aunt Patty or Uncle Mike or mom and dad want me to be, and dying a secretive death? Not physical, but mental and spiritual. Do you know a lot of us have addictions because we just can't deal with the life we're living? It's too painful. It's not our life, and we wish we want out, which is at the root of a lot of people who commit suicide, which I won't talk about because suicide is sometimes a complex thing. So we're not talking about suicidal thoughts and, oh, I'm just going to jump off a cliff, I'm going to kill myself. No. This is a different type of losing the fear of death. Now, the second thing she said was, I wish I hadn't worked so hard. Now, it doesn't mean that we have a vision and we don't work towards manifesting it. But if you listen to anybody's teaching on manifestation, they'll tell you that it's more about getting the vibration, embodying the energy, to think yourself into manifesting, and then working smart, and then attracting people, places, things, circumstances. Even if you run a company, you can't do everything by yourself. You have to hire the right people, have the right people. It's not about working hard, it's about working smart. And the reason why entrepreneurship is attractive is because you can be on the beach while your company's still running. You can be with your daughter or son at graduation or at their high school party, or with your wife or with your significant other, and still being paid if you're working smart instead of working hard. Don't trade time for your presence, and don't trade time for your gifts. You can maximize your gifts by putting them in different places and making sure that others are actually taking what your vision is and carrying it into practice. That is what being a good facilitator, or a person who's good at delegating. Learn that you don't have to be in a physical place to be working. You could leave a manuscript, you could leave a training manual, you could train others, you can empower them and build capacity while you are off doing other things. The third thing is, I wish I had the courage to express my feelings. Some of us are afraid to tell our relatives, I don't want to come. I don't want to be there. I don't like what you did. You know what? Tell the person in our life that I don't enjoy this activity. This is not something that I want to do. I'm hurt. Man, I'm mad as hell and I'm pissed off. Some of us can't tell our bosses that. But maybe you should become the boss. Maybe that will be liberating if you just said, listen, I can't do this job. It conflicts with who and what I am. Or start to make a passage out of that job, because even though you're getting paid sort of well, it's killing you on the inside because it conflicts with your core values. Have courage to speak up and say those things. I wish I would have stayed in touch with my friends is the fourth thing she said. Today I want to make it my practice to go and call my family. I don't have a whole lot of friends to say that are intimate friends, but I have family. I have a wonderful partner, and I want to be able to touch base with them more. Those are my daughter. Those are the things that I want to stay up on more. Those are the most fulfilling things, rather than getting the certificate or the trophy. Yay! That's great. Nah, it is the precious thing, which is presence in the presence of someone that you really love and want to connect and communicate with. The last thing is, I wish I would have had and let myself be happier. You know, I start my day with meditation because meditation is the first stage to bringing bliss. We want blissful living. Blissful living don't mean that you're happy. Yeah, yeah. It just means that you have this feeling inside, like if you ever walked and all of a sudden you just feel good. You start looking around and damn, I feel so good. We deserve to live life like that and not have it turn off. Live like that all the time. All the spiritual masters that we really admire, that I admire, taught us how to find bliss. I don't care how dark the world is, there's inner light, there's bliss, there's enthusiasm, there's optimism, there's joy. We deserve to have that, if not all the time, most of the time. But we're not going to have it if we are afraid of dying. But one of the things that will help us lose the fear of dying is looking at the regret that we may have at the time of dying. Let us put these principles into practice. Peace. Happy New Year if you celebrate Kwanzaa. Abarigani, which is what's the news, and the result of answering that question is Amani. Imani. Thank you very much. Have a great day. Listen up for knowledge. Feel free to leave a comment down below, like the video, share the video, and subscribe to the station. Thank you.